Hi, my name is Atheism, aka your favorite atheist, and I'm here with the Godless the Godless Engineer.
Hey now, I don't know why you gotta bring all that stuff in here. I mean, of course I'm the Ninja Queer. I'm the Dick Pioneer, okay? I'm not the Dickless Pioneer. Alright?
Yeah, so you already know what time it is. You see the header up there, but before we get into that, we'd like to enlighten you on reason, religiously educated atheists, secularists, and other non-theists. We are a small coalition of atheist activists that seek to improve the world through logic, reason, and the presentation of evidence. Also, we have a live show bi-weekly, and that doesn't mean 2 times a week, that means once every other week, on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, depending on how we're feeling and if our time constraints allow us to do so. So now that we got that out the way, we're going to move on to the 5 dumbass comments of the week. Woo!
Alright. Well, let's see. The first one we got here is Pistol.
Oh, I got to get my drink ready, man. What you sipping on tonight?
Crap. I don't have anything tonight. It's right before Christmas, man. I'm broke.
Well, I've got, here's what I'm sipping on tonight. I got some mango, New Amsterdam, because it was on clearance, and I was like, hell yeah. And I've got some Mucho Mango, Arizona, Mucho Mango. That's so racist.
How's Mucho Mango racist?
I'm boycotting. Because it's Arizona.
Because it's Arizona. I get you.
I'm boycotting. Just kidding. All right, we're going to make this up. Gee, go ahead and give us that first comment.
All right, Pistol here. It bugs me that people don't believe in a higher power when the evidence is right under their nose.
You mean my upper lip? Is that evidence?
Upper lip, nose. I don't know. Maybe he smells something up there that kind of smells like God's shit because if he's got a brown nose from having his nose so far up God's ass.
Oh.
I know, harsh, right?
So, Pistol, listen, Mr. Pistol. It bugs you that people don't believe in a higher power. Why? Why does that bother you? We're not out here doing things in the name of not believing in a higher power. We're not beheading motherfuckers. We're not denying women basic human rights. We're not suppressing entire groups of people. We're not genocidal maniacs going from town to town with AK-47s and shooting and killing everybody in the town. Okay? We're doing nothing except asking you to provide evidence for your beliefs. And somehow that fucking bugs you. Well, guess what, Pistol? Bang, bang, motherfucker. There ain't no evidence, and we ain't letting up, alright?
Oh, man, Ayla's just pulled out the kill shot. Bang, bang.
Gotta put it sideways like a G.
Yeah, I know, right? It's the kill shot. That was so
Don't try that
right.
at home, kids. It will jam your gun. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Unless it's an AK-47, you can do whatever the fuck you want with it.
Shoot upside down, underwater. Excuse me. Let's see. It bugs me that people don't believe in a higher power. Okay, yeah, Ayla's just focused on this, and I mean, I have to say, it doesn't bug me as an atheist. It doesn't bug me, when people do believe in God. Like, I live in the South. I mean, I have to interact with people that believe in God on a daily basis. I mean, if it bugged me, then I wouldn't be able to interact with anybody around here at all. I would be a hermit. I would be a shut-in. So, I don't really have the option for it to really bug me all that much. I mean, sure, I'll roll my eyes at a church when they have a stupid church sign up there, but that's about it. And then he says, when the evidence is under their nose. I'm guessing that he's just talking about an argument from design. Yeah, and I mean, that's basically what that boils down to. And this is how I see the world, is through fallacies and logic and reason. Is that, it's a false analogy is what it boils down to. And what a false analogy is that he's taking two things and comparing them. And the basis of the whole argument from design is that, well, if if the universe if the world seems to be designed and everything like that, then the universe has to be designed. And see, the thing is that you have to negate a lot of things in order to say that, in order to make that analogy. And these things are pretty big and important.
God bless you.
I know. But yeah, you have to ignore a whole lot of things in order to make that comparison. So that comparison isn't really good. You can't do anything with that comparison. So you're really presenting a false narrative, or you're just presenting a false analogy. And that's what it boils down to. It's the fact that you can't compare this Earth to the universe as far as proving that they were created, because it doesn't go to prove that they're created. This is a sub fallacy of non sequitur, basically. So, which that non sequitur means that it doesn't logically follow, like the premise or the conclusion doesn't logically follow from the premise. So.
Right. I mean, I'd like to piggyback off what you said about it doesn't bug you that people believe in a God. It doesn't bug me either that people believe in a God. I actually tell people, if that's what comforts you, if that's what makes you feel better, if that's what you need to get through life, then so be it, man. We all have our comforts. If that's yours, then so be it. The problem that I have is if you are propping up a system that allows terrible things to happen in the world. You know, we're always victimized by the Catholic Church, or at least in the past we were. I don't know. The Pope has been getting a little lenient lately, although he still has said some pretty bad things about atheists. But apparently we can make it into heaven now. So God's changing the rules for us. But anyway, you know, I'm tired of being told that I'm morally bankrupt by like an institution that allows for the suppression of women's rights, the denial of rights to the LGBT community, child rapists being shuttled from one church to another to hide their crimes and to get away from their victims. You know, that's basically paraphrasing a Matt Dillahunty quote there. But in essence, what I'm trying to say is, if you are supporting a system, then it does bug me. But if you don't know it, it doesn't bug me, because, you know, I was a Christian for a long time and I didn't see these evils, and I never knew that I was actually supporting them by going to a church, giving them money, and then they take that money and give it to a higher organization that then donates money to anti-LGBT groups and things like that. You know, when you actually can present that to the person and then they say, well, I don't care, that's just my faith, then yes, it's going to bug me and I'm going to have a problem with you. But as long as you're just believing in a God, you have no idea what's going on, we're going to attempt to educate you, and no, it does not bug us. Believe in all the gods you want. Believe in the magic fucking shoe if that makes you a better person. I don't give a fuck what you believe in. Believe that shit. Don't let it affect me. Don't let it affect anyone else. Keep it out of schools, off of government property, and do not indoctrinate the kids with that bullshit.
Yeah, you know...
Dumbass of the week.
Yeah, well, I was going to actually add in real quick here at the end. I recently got interviewed by my local paper as an atheist, and they wanted to get an atheist perspective on, Christmas time, right? And they were, because they were putting together this report of people of different faiths celebrating Christmas, and and what he found was that a lot of the other faiths, pretty much all the other faiths, have a problem with the Christian religion being propped up at this time of year and being put on government property and whatnot. So, while atheists are the ones that are being the loudest, because we're the ones that see the problem and we're the ones that want to do something about it, other people have the problems too. So it's not just atheists, we're just the ones that are being loud about it. And we're also the ones that are winning.
Yeah, I mean, you have a lot of Muslims that don't want to see Christian things on their property either, but especially now of all times, they can't say anything. I mean, since the Paris attacks, there's been like hundreds of attacks on Muslims and mosques and people that had absolutely nothing to do with that nonsense. So the reason you don't hear them speaking out, they don't have the leisure, the ability to do so. They're not they're not coming after us. If we get their 10 commandments removed from the courthouse, they're not going to show up at our house and shoot bullet holes in it. But you know, after the Paris attacks, they did that shit to some Muslims. So Muslims aren't really in a position to speak out against it. And I'm pretty sure the Sikhs, or however, how do you call it? Is that how you call them?
Sheik. I don't know. I'm from Alabama, man. I can't pronounce shit.
The 7-Eleven people. Listen, they're just happy to be here in a great country, okay? Well, it's not the greatest, but it's better than where they're coming from for the most part, because they have a lot of crazy shit going on over there too, and they're actually fucking killing the Muslims over there too. So it's just crazy. But before we get into Muslim apologetics here, let's move on to the next comment.
Yeah, the next dumbass of the week. All right, you ready, Alice? Because you got to read this one, okay?
I'm ready.
All right.
I was born ready. Oh, Carol. She says, yeah, and I'm going to have sex with Alicia Keys, Meghan Trainor, Mariah Carey, Mila Kunis, all at the same time. How much I believe humans came drim monkeys.
What's drim?
I mean, let's work this out. I think she was trying to say from. That might have been her autocorrect getting her.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, I am going to have sex with Alicia Keys, Meghan Trainor, Mariah Carey, Mila Kunis. I don't know, that just sounds like a good time to me. I mean...
Mila Kunis.
And?
Mila Kunis.
And I think, like, okay, this structure of her comment was so poorly worded. I think what she's trying to say is how much she believes humans came from monkeys is the same amount that she believes that she's going to have sex with Alicia Keys, Meghan Trainor, Mariah Carey, and Mila Kunis. Okay. Do we really need to get into this? Humans did not come from monkeys. We share a common ancestor with the other apes. Okay, so we didn't come from monkeys, but you are a fucking ape. And your comment definitely demonstrates this. You are one of what I would call, because there's no such thing as lesser evolved, but of lesser intelligence. Your ape-like behavior and comment is of lesser intelligence. That thing is just painful, man. But she thinks that that's comparable. Now, let me also go out on a limb here, too, and say that it is actually possible to have sex with Alicia Keys, Meghan Trainor, Mariah Carey, and Mila Kunis all at the same time. What do you think, G? Is it possible?
No, I think that it's completely sane to think that you can do all of that at the same time. I mean, that's sane. I mean, sane time. I mean, that's completely the sanest comment that I've seen in this entire dumbass fuckery of the week. Yeah, I don't get the analogy that she's going with here. So she's saying that humans coming from monkeys is just as probable as her having sex with all of these people. Yeah, I would say so. Yes, I agree. I agree with this comment, actually. Her having sex with all of these people is the same thing as humans coming from monkeys. Because neither are going to happen. The second one never did happen, so therefore the first one never will. So they have the same probability.
Well, I disagree. I mean, for a pretty fly guy like me, it's possible. I'm
saying for her.
It's still possible, though. That's the funniest thing about the comment, is that thing, those people actually exist. It's not totally far-fetched to think that this thing couldn't potentially occur. I mean, couldn't she come up with a better analogy? And, like, what are you doing? Just sitting around thinking about having orgies with these girls? Like, is that what you're doing all day long?
Yeah.
I really don't know what else to say about this one. This is just...
Well, I mean, it's just
stupidity at its finest.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's the whole, like you said, there's the whole coming from a common ancestor thing. But a lot of people like to say, well, I mean, like, okay, if you go back to the Ken Ham Bill Nye debate, for how creationism says that you know, all these species came to be, there would quite literally have to have been 11 new species a day. Alice, that is quite literally one animal pooping out another animal 11 times a day. How many bowel movements do you have? Don't answer that. Look,
6.
I don't I don't have 11 bowel movements a day at all. And to say that one animal is going to produce 11 different species that are perfect for its environment right then and there, that's just ridiculous. And so I think that it's quite ridiculous to support a position that is quite impossible to begin with. I mean, for you to not actually know what evolution says or what evolution is, and more specifically what she's talking about here is evolution by natural selection, because evolution just describes changes throughout an organic species or through an organism, right?
Right.
And so changes over time in organisms. And so for her to say this comment in such an authoritative capacity is just an example of her idiocy on the subject and why she shouldn't be taken seriously.
And I mean, someone who can't even get their sentence structure right. We've got to put in work to actually make your comment make sense. I mean, can we really take that seriously in the first place? I think that somehow these people have slipped through the system, because when I went through high school, we were taught about evolution, and no one ever said we came from monkeys. So what are these people doing? Are they just walking into class and like, oh, this is science class, this is biology, just don't even pay attention. We got the Bible.
Well, yeah, of course they got the Bible. I mean, holy crap. Bible, Bible, Bible. I mean, what else do you need in the science classroom, okay? I mean, we don't need science. We don't need any other kind of that. Oh, my goodness.
I'm here to tell y'all something. You
Who
don't
are you?
need no damn evolution. That is a lie made up by them Satanist scientists. And I didn't, just as sure as my hair is brown, I didn't come from no monkey. And
that kind of looks
tell
dirty.
you, anybody that believes in that stupid religion, evolution, is going to go to hell. And they going to burn forever and ever.
What if I need a tan?
You going to get a good tan down there, boy.
I know I will. I mean, it could be a good time. You don't know.
Your skin is going to melt off of your body.
Where does that say that in the Bible?
It's going to grow back through God's benevolent mercy. And it's going to burn off again, and you're going to feel that pain. The nerve endings are going to be restored all until the end of time.
Wait, how is it merciful?
Jesus.
How is it merciful for God to grow back your skin only to burn it off again?
Gotta go. Anyway, I don't know who that raving lunatic was, but we're going to go ahead and stamp Carol with Dumbass of the Week.
Yeah. Alright, so next Dumbass of the Week is my turn to read it off. Alright, here we go. Oh, Zechariah. However you say that. And if you could but see when the angels take the souls of those who disbelieved, they are striking their faces and their backs and saying, taste the punishment of the burning fire.
Taste the punishment of the burning fire.
Sounds like some dominatrix shit, doesn't it?
Allah's a freak in the sheets, yo.
Well, I mean, with those 72 virgins, you figure you gotta be, right? I mean, at some point, you run out of moves.
Don't get 72 virgins. That's not heaven. You need 72 prostitutes. Virgins don't know what the fuck they're doing, man.
Well, prostitutes at what point in their career? Because I mean, if you're at the end of their career, I mean, things might not be so. I mean, if you're at the beginning where they got a handle on the situation, but yet they're still in their I guess prime, maybe. I don't know.
This
is getting way too misogynistic for me.
Their prime is like their first week when they start prostituting. I don't know. I don't know that. I'm unable to confirm or deny that allegation, but I'm guessing that's what it would be, something like, before they get on drugs and do that crazy shit. But and what is the point of this comment here? It's basically to attempt to instill fear in us. Your face and your back is going to be struck as we tell you to taste the punishment of the burning fire. Like, is this supposed to make us really believe? Is this supposed to make us think that your God is all loving and benevolent? I mean, really? That's the best you've got, man.
Yeah. Well, I imagine the conversation going kind of like this, okay? It's like, well, I just really don't believe in Allah anymore. I mean, I'm just not a Muslim. I don't buy it. You will taste the punishment of eternal torment from Allah. Now believe, He's lovely, He's peaceful. Join our peaceful religion, or burn in hell.
Yeah, and I love it when it's like you make the choice to burn in hell. And it's okay.
Where they try to put like the fault on you, like, look, okay, God's gonna burn your ass if you do this shit, so you might as well just go ahead and choose the right answer, okay? I mean, that's a lot like an abusive husband saying, now listen, you leave this house and I'm gonna smack the shit out of you, so you might as well not leave.
Well, I like how the blame still ends up on the deity in the end anyway, because if all humans have this sinful nature, that means that we can't even control it. We're just born into sin. And then you combine that with the fact that the Quran and the Bible teach predestination, which gives you a horrific implication that everyone who goes to hell is a direct result of Allah or Yahweh choosing it to be that way. And then you combine that with the fact that the criteria for which souls are supposedly judged and determined whether they get to go to the eternal paradise where rivers are running with wine and alcohol and your virgins are frolicking around in a pasture, or a place of eternal torment, burning fire, where angels are going to strike your faces and your backs and tell you to taste that burning fire. We don't even have to say much about that. I think those things alone demonstrate the malevolence of these deities.
Yeah, well, I would like to say that this is actually a logical fallacy that he's kind of committing here, because it's just like you were saying that it's emotional, but that's an appeal to emotion. It's when you're trying to appeal to the emotional side of somebody instead of making an actual rational argument. And instead, you're just trying to get them to feel a certain way or whatnot in order to convince them.
Yeah, I mean, let's just go ahead and stamp this idiot with dumbass of the week. Next time, try to bring some substance to the comment. Like maybe you could tell us something that the Quran says that we haven't discovered yet, and make a scientific discovery using the Quran. I don't know, just a suggestion.
Well, yeah, and what's funny is that there's plenty of lists out there that list like scientific discoveries in the Quran. Like, for instance, there's this one verse in the Quran. Sorry if I don't know the right one, but it says that Allah made like meteors in the sky as missiles or some shit. and so I mean, but come at us with that. I mean, with that we could actually have a rational argument. But if you're just going to tell me that I'm going to burn in hell because I don't agree with you, there's nothing else to say.
If you're interested in seeing a response to those things, I have a video on my channel called Science in the Quran, where I thoroughly debunked the Quran's predictions about the Big Bang and stuff like that. Basically, what happens, if you don't want to watch that video, is the Muslims wait until science discovers something, and then they say that the Quran has said that thing all along.
Check out his channel.
Check it out.
All right. So, dumbass of the week. All right, now, Alice, this is your turn. This is your turn, man. You ready?
Let's get it. Let's get it. I'm ready for the stupidity. Oh, M says, "What the fuck, man? Have you ever even?" No, let me read it in context here. Have you even read the Quran? In Islam, you aren't allowed to do any of those things. As it says in the Quran, Killing one person is like killing all of humanity. If you want to talk more about Islam, you can DM me. It go down in the DM. It go down in the DM. If you don't or refuse to believe the truth, then quit sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. And this comment he actually left on this meme that I posted. Basically, it says things that Muhammad says. It has a pretty picture of Muhammad here. You probably can't see it. Maybe they can see it. Yeah, you can see it. Basically, it quotes a couple quotes here from Muhammad. Allah's apostle said, "I have been made victorious with terror. I shall terrorize the infidels, so wound their bodies and incapacitate them because they oppose Allah and his apostle." The prophet said, "I have been given the keys of eloquent speech and given victory with terror. Fight and kill the disbelievers wherever you find them. Take them captive, harass them, lie in wait and ambush them using every strategy possible. The believers fight in Allah's cause. They slay and are slain, kill and are killed. Fight those who do not believe until they all surrender, paying the protective tax in submission, the jizya. Fight them until all opposition ends and all submit to Allah. So fight them until there is no more disbelief and submit to the religion of Allah alone. Jihad is a holy fighting in Allah's cause with a full force of numbers and weaponry. It is given utmost importance in Islam, and it is one of its pillars." And he's saying that none of those things are being said in the Quran.
All right. Well, it also says, which I found kind of funny, that when the Quran comes into, which I've actually gotten some pretty bad comments recently on the GE main Facebook page about this, but apparently if you just list horrible verses out of the Quran, you just point them out and you call into question this narrative that it's the religion of peace, apparently that incites violence against Muslims. I had no idea it did that. I'm still kind of skeptical as whether or not it does, because when I posted it, it was just like, would you look at that? What do you think? It's not like I posted it with like a hashtag that said, "Aha, kill all them violent Muslims." I didn't do anything like that. Just the mere pointing out of it. Yeah. So let's see.
Well, he also says here, as it says in the Quran, killing one person is like killing all of humanity. And now the irony here is that he's taking this own passage out of context to make it work for him. If this is really what the Quran said, you wouldn't see ISIS, who are telling you that the backbone of their belief system is the Quran. You wouldn't see these Saudis doing the same thing that ISIS is doing, using the Quran as their backbone. Now, this verse does say, "Whoever kills a person, it is as though he has killed all mankind." It's Quran 5:32. "And whoever saves a life, it is as though he has saved all of mankind." However, if you want a correct translation here, or not even a correct translation, if you want several different translations, you can pull it up and check it out. And most of the translations refer to this person that they're killing as an innocent person, or if the killing is an unjust crime. So basically what that means is if you're killing anyone that Allah told you to, like a disbeliever, you're amputating or beheading them or striking fear into them, then those things are okay. You can kill them all you want because that's just. That's what Allah has ordered and commanded, and therefore you're not killing all of humanity. Basically what this is saying is if you accuse someone of adultery and then they turn out to not be an adulterer, then you killed that one person. It was like killing all of humanity.
So basically it's preaching against making mistakes when doing the whole moral judgment deal. Is that right?
Very loosely. Very, very fucking loosely.
Well, going on down to the very bottom one. Let's see, if you don't or refuse to believe the truth. I like how it's that. It's a false dichotomy here. Because it's saying that if you refuse to believe me or you don't believe me, then
you're wrong.
Yeah, then you're wrong. So I mean, he doesn't leave it open to like other like different Muslims. Like basically, he's excluding everybody that doesn't interpret the Quran exactly like he does.
Yeah, basically. And I mean, we know that it's just like, it's a little more strict in Islam, but essentially it's just like Christianity, where if you have enough power, you can break off into your own sect and believe some other bullshit, like, wearing magic underwear, or that you're going to obtain celestial real estate when you die. Like, it's essentially the same thing. This is why you have groups like ISIS popping up. And the thing is that Muslims don't want to admit is that they're not taking any fucking thing out of context. If the Quran says to behead the disbelievers, and if you want to allow other believers of other gods in your country to make them pay the jizya, which is what ISIS does, then they're following the Quran. The problem is the Quran, just like the Bible, has the foundation for encouraging and inciting these horrific acts, right? So the thing is, just because you are a Muslim who doesn't do these things doesn't mean that it's not in the Quran. It's in there. It's in the Quran. It's in the Bible. We can point it out. We can go through there. We can go through the Quran with a highlighter and highlight everywhere it tells you to hurt, harm, or humiliate a disbeliever, and you'll end up with a very fucking highlighted book.
No, yeah. If you go to the skepticsannotatedbible.com, they have a link to the Quran where they've done the same thing to the Quran that they've done to the Bible, and that's they've taken specific topics and they have collected all the different verses in it. And you can go there and you could look up topics like violence or misogyny or sex. And in like the violence part, I mean, it has I don't even know. I mean, it's got well over 500 verses in it where it's violent, so it just, yeah, I don't see how you can say that it's a religion of peace when it's got so much violence in it.
One of the other things that bothers me, though, is that they always try to say that you're taking the quote out of context. Okay, if your God is so fucking omnibenevolent, he would not need to put a verse in his book that says, cut off your fucking hand or behead somebody. I mean, where's the benevolence in that?
Okay, well, the benevolence is, can I get back to you?
Yeah, let me know, and, in an eternity when you figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
But, that's one thing that kills me. Oh, it's the religion of peace. Okay, actually, that's not what it means. It actually means submission. Okay? Don't try to work the words in your favor. Okay? Yeah. And this is what happens. When motherfuckers like me actually talk to Muslims and debate with Muslims, I'm always called an Islamophobe. And basically what that means, this motherfucker knows more about the Quran than we do. He's read the Quran. He's read the Hadiths, okay? He's written papers on this shit. He's got his degrees in world religions. He's a problem. We need to slander him somehow. Let's just call him a racist. That's a good discussion ender right there. Conversation's over. He's a racist. He hates those brown folks. We're done.
No, yeah, I got called, like, I did a meme just similar to yours. I think I mentioned it a second ago, but, on that, I got heavily attacked for being an Islamophobe. And it's really amazing how people jump to that. Because it just, all that does, it really just seeks to silence, what you're trying to say. They're trying to silence you. I mean, that's the only reason why they say it. It's like, oh, you're just being Islamophobic. It's like, oh, crap, I'm sorry. My fly was down, and I just didn't know it was flopping out. My Islamophobia was flopping out all over the place. I didn't mean to slap you in the face with my...
Boing.
I mean...
Yeah, it's like it's the modern version of blasphemy, right? No one gives a fuck about blasphemy anymore. So now it's like, we've got to find a way to end the discussion.
I don't know. Saudi Arabia takes that shit pretty seriously. I mean, they're whipping that boy Raif Badawi. They're whipping him senseless, giving him 1,000 lashes, 50 per week. Holy shit! And
he's got it pretty easy compared to the woman who enticed a group of men to gangbang her.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. She enticed her by being a woman. That's the entire reason why.
She must have been showing a little bit of ankle in that burqa.
Well, yeah. I don't think she was wearing a burqa, so maybe that's how she was enticing. Like, ooh, girl, you're not wearing a burqa. You must want some. But I think we thoroughly destroyed this guy, and he is now the dumbass of the week. I'd
like to say one more thing about him. He says, if you don't know or you refuse to believe the truth and quit sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, motherfucker, I am in the business of criticizing religion. Okay, that's where my nose belongs. So I'm gonna keep this shit up.
Yeah, both of us do.
These dumbass comments. and if you want to leave another dumbass comment, we're gonna get that one too. Bitch.
Alright, let's see. This next one is me. Alright, let's see what it is. Oh, Maria! I'm not against atheism, but it has some illogical points that God doesn't exist. He does, because how was this world created? This whole world created. There is something behind this science, idiots.
She's not against atheism. But it has some illogical points.
well, it's not just that it has some illogical points, but it's that God doesn't exist. Atheism doesn't say God doesn't exist. Atheism just says that we don't believe in God.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, I don't want to go out on a limb and speak for all atheists, because I've said this so many times that being an atheist doesn't make you intelligent. It doesn't make you skeptical. It doesn't make you a rational person. But for the most part, people who have left religion and became atheists would believe that a God exists, provided that you give us some substantial evidence that we can possibly test and replicate. We have no problem in that. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to worship that motherfucker, especially if he's a dick. It doesn't mean that we're going to think he's a good God at all. It just means that we'll accept that he actually exists.
Sorry, I lost my way. What was the last thing that you said?
We don't think that a God doesn't exist. We'll believe in a God if you provide evidence of him, but it doesn't mean we'll worship him if he's not a great moral character. Okay. It doesn't mean we'd worship him at all anyway. Any deity that is demanding worship automatically disqualifies that deity from being worthy of worship, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, why would you want to worship something that's like 10 times worse than you? It's because I mean, then you're just like, I mean, the guy kills another guy for killing another guy, and it's kind of what the fuck, dude? You just shouldn't we kill you now? I mean, isn't that the standard? It's like, no, I'm special.
I'm God.
Yeah. But let's say he does. He does, because how was this whole world created? Just another argument from design. How was this whole world created? We have a lot of scientific theories. Scientific theories, mind you. I just wanted to stress that phrase. Scientific theories that show how this world was created through natural processes and everything like that, how the earth grew to its size today, how our atmosphere formed, how land formed, how water got here and there. I don't think that we have a solid theory just yet on how water, like all the water actually got here, because we know that some formed on here. But then I think another theory is that like water was transported here through meteors. I want to say that's another theory, which kind of goes into the panspermia idea. But yeah, then there's something behind this, science idiots. I think she's missing a comma there. Like there's something behind this, science idiots. So
maybe she's not. Wait, maybe she's not missing a comma there. Maybe she's actually calling all of us science idiots because she has the real science.
oh yeah, that book that a bunch of goat fuckers wrote.
That's the thing that kills me, man. The thing that kills me, I always address this whenever I'm talking to anyone, and they say, "How was the world created? How was the universe created?" Stop. You're making an assumption that it was created.
Mm-hmm.
And that needs to be addressed from the get-go, because you got to be very careful, because if you let them start sliding with things like that, then they're like snakes, man. They slither on in and they work their way in.
Yeah. Now, begging the question is a very slippery snake that gets worked in. Because, like right here, this is a perfect example of begging the question, because it assumes that the world was created, like there was some kind of active agent to actually create it. Like how did this? I think a more accurate question or whatnot would be, how did this world come to be? You know, how did this world form? Basically,
yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
And I would think that there is something behind this science, you fucking idiot. So actually take a look at the science, okay? We've got evidence of the Big Bang. We've got evidence that evolution occurred. We have some pretty standard evidence that abiogenesis may have occurred. You know, we may never actually have a legitimate theory on that just because it happened so long ago. It's almost impossible for us to know the exact conditions and how things really happened. But we've got a pretty fucking good idea. What we don't have is any evidence whatsoever of a creator.
Exactly, we don't. It's just that
and I want to know why nowadays they're like, oh, you can't test God. I'm like, bullshit. Didn't Elijah go up to Mount Carmel with those fucking Baal worshippers and they put God to the test? Why can't we do that shit and broadcast it to the world? Let's do that shit. Let's do it and broadcast it to the world.
Well, what's his face? I think it might have been Isaiah 2 or maybe somebody before him, but they questioned God about destroying Sodom and Gomorrah. Or what?
Abraham.
Yeah, Abraham. Yeah, God. Abraham questioned the fuck out of God.
Like, he questioned him like 8 times. He's like, "Wait, you would save the town if you found 100? Well, what if there were 50 good men? Well, what if there were 25 good? What if there were 5 good men? Apparently, there weren't even 5 good men in that town. Can you believe that shit?"
Yeah, no. Well, yeah, because there's just the one good, which is another kind of thing. It's very subtly misogynistic, isn't it?
Yeah.
5 good men. Not 5 good people. 5 good men. You had to have 5 good men, because that's one thing I just now realized that, because Lot's family had would have had more than 5 people in it. Okay, Lot's family would have had more than 5 people in it. So I mean, how could they? Or well, in the story, I guess it was only Lot and his 2 daughters,
and his wife,
So there's 4 people. So but missed it by that much, right? if he had meant people. So
well, no, not really, because you got to remember now, his daughters got him drunk on wine and then fucked him. So I mean, you got to count them out for that. And then his wife turned around when they were leaving and got turned to a pillar of salt. So it was only Lot.
Well, okay, now listen. Okay, now the daughters fuck their daddy, because that's what you just do when you're the last people on earth. They learned that from Adam and Eve. Okay, except now it's Eve 2, and Daddy is what it is, and then you got a Brazzers sticker in the corner, and you got your next porno.
Sounds like a really horrific genetic bottleneck to me.
It does, but also that kind of points out how that reminds me of how this world was supposedly populated to the brink. Or full up in the Bible's purview by incest twice.
And 6,000 years ago, they expect us to believe that 7 billion people are on this planet from 6,000 years ago. Do you motherfuckers not know basic math? Do you know how much fucking would have to go on in order for that to occur?
Well, I mean, I remember at this one verse in the Bible, it states that like the nation of Israel or something like that went from several hundred people to like millions in like the matter of 600 years, and that's just impossible unless they were importing pussy from somewhere.
Well, you know, like in the beginning when Cain left and went to another town and found a wife, you know, I actually had some pastors tell me that there were actually people in the earth at that time, but God created Adam and Eve separately and put them in the garden.
Where is that biblical at all?
No, it's not.
I don't think so, because
Wait, though. A lot of things aren't biblical. The rapture's not biblical. Hell is not biblical. The Trinity is not biblical.
Santa Claus, he's not biblical.
Santa Claus. So I mean, a lot of things that Christians believe are Christian fan fiction. So if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, like what is really biblical?
I got some good Christian fan fiction. You want to hear it?
Yeah, let me have it.
Okay, hold on. I got to get the right guy up here to tell it.
Here we go.
All right. I'm here to tell you a little story about Jesus. Okay. Now listen, I got my devil bottle water here.
Oh, tip it up so the devil can laugh.
If only I had some Starbucks, then he could queef too. Now listen, okay. Here's what happened. All right. Jesus had Mary Magdalene, and he looked at Mary Magdalene. And he was like, "Hey, I know this secret, secluded place on top of this mountain. Let's go get freaky." And so what he did was he took Mary up on this mountain. He took her up there. Stop me if you know this. He took her up there on this mountain, and when they got up there, he looked out upon the vastness of all creation, and then he pulled this young woman from his side and raped her right in front of Mary, and then came in her, and then looked over at Mary, and came out of the cum out of the woman, and he went. He looked at her and was like, "This we do in remembrance of me." So Jesus fucked a rib woman out of his own side, raped her, came in her, ate his own cum, and then was like, "Hey Mary, I want you to tell everybody that you got to do this after you have sex, because that's just what you do to remember me."
I mean, okay, so first of all, that actually sounds kind of hot, man. I mean, I let me just put this out there. That's kind of fucking hot, man. You
Is
know,
it?
I mean, are you familiar with the term snowballing?
I am very familiar.
I've recently became acquainted with that term, and it sounds like something pretty fucking hot, man.
Man, I've been acquainted before too, and I gotta tell you, it feels so good to be acquainted. You have no idea.
Just let me come in your mouth, babe, and then, you know, come up and spit it in my mouth, and I'll swallow.
That's right, all right.
This we do in remembrance of Jesus.
Oh yeah, we do. Come on, baby. Let's remember Jesus. I'll remember him first, and then I'll let you remember him out of my mouth. That's called a double snowball. That's double packed.
But yeah, but did he put it in his mouth and then he spit it in Mary Magdalene's mouth?
Oh no, he didn't double snowball her. I mean, you know, they were out in the Middle East. That shit would have melted quick.
Yeah, I imagine that's good protein though.
Oh yeah, well, you know, Jesus, he's all about that protein.
I bet he was jacked, man. He must have been ripped.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, to survive that crucifixion, he had to have been something. Magical is what I was gonna go with, but I mean, fuck, you want to go with ripped? I'll be right there with you.
One time when I was a Christian, I had a vision of Jesus.
He ate his own cum, and then I ate my own cum, and then we had a cum dance together.
No.
Oh,
He was ripped up, man. He worked out.
So you had like an Arnold Schwarzenegger type Jesus.
Yeah. He had an 8-pack and everything.
He came in there and was like, "Come with me if you want to live."
Yeah, follow me. I'm gonna make you a fisher of men. Oh, that sounds so bad when you put it in the context of what we're talking about.
Yeah, but then, you know, with the whole with that part, it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger takes you out to the Sea of Galilee, and it's like, I'm gonna make you fisher of men, and then he lights like he pulls the pin on a grenade, throws it in the water, waits, and then and it's a Michael Bay film.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think that this person is a dumbass of the week. What do you say there, Alice?
Yeah, I definitely think that this person is a dumbass of the week. The first sentence kind of gives us that when you don't have an understanding of atheism. I'm so confused at how we live in a world where people just have an opinion about anything without having any relevant knowledge about that thing. I mean, you've actually went out, Maria, and you've attempted to criticize something that you know nothing about. And that's fine. I'm all for your right to have your own opinions, right? But at least be smart about this shit, man. You're not going to go criticize a movie you haven't even watched, I hope, or else you're a fucking dumbass. Just like you shouldn't be criticizing atheism if you don't know what it actually fucking means.
Yeah, I'd have to say that you're right on that. You need to be sure about what fucking words mean there, Maria. Otherwise, you come off sounding like a dumb shit, okay? Because atheism, I mean, even though I'm a Christian, atheism doesn't mean God doesn't exist. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
Maria. So guess what? You's a dumbass of the week.
Marie.
All right, now everybody, y'all come back now. You hear?
Was that all 5?
Yeah, that was all 5.
That was the 5 dumbass comments of the week. If you'd like to watch more videos like this, you can tune in every week, hopefully, and we'll have a brand new dumbass comments of the week. Hence the title, 5 dumbass comments of the week.
Yeah. And you know, I'm G-Man. Normally, I represent Godless Engineer. I'm the Christian that lives in his household. So if you want more of me, come over there. Sometimes I want to say shit. But Godless, he puts out shit every week. So, you know, just come on over here and we'll have a good time. Subscribe and shit.
Have a real good time expelling that demonic semen.
Hell yeah, buddy. You gotta make sure you turn it up.
Oh, the devil screams. Oh, wait, no, the devil laughs.
Laughs, screams. He's gonna do all that shit after I'm done with him.
Alright, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave us a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, God Works Out, and to the Godless Engineer. And if you want to be entertained every hour on the hour, you can follow me on Instagram at GodWorksOut.
Yeah, if you also for the whole... Hold on. Yeah, and if you like hour by hour kind of updates, the Facebook page Godless Engineer, my own one, we try to keep up every hour or sometimes half hour. Sometimes we just post every single second. We don't know. But we do post there, so find us.
We just post. We make it happen.
We do.
Our show, Reason, the Secular Roundtable, also has a Facebook page as well. It's called the Secular Roundtable, so check that out too. Try to keep it updated and keep you guys inundated with the latest and most relevant in the atheism and religion communities.
Hell yeah.
What's better than that? Go over there on Instagram, give it that double tap. Go over there on Facebook, give it that like. If you're on Twitter, we got that. Just get on all them social media shits, man. We out here giving y'all everything we got. You better go follow.
All right. Well, now, hope everybody has a nice night, day, weekend, whenever you have to be happen to be watching this, and I guess we'll see you guys next time.
And may reason forever outweigh religious stupidity.